Hello, it's Gabby here for you. Before we jump onto this week's podcast, I just want to let you know about 2 ways that you can work with me. First of all, I do one-to-one coaching and I do that via Zoom, so we can jump on a Zoom call at a time to suit you. The second thing I've got for you is an online coaching course that's 12 modules that you can download straight away now. There will be a link somewhere around these podcast notes. And this is the course that I've designed, and it's got everything in it that I wish I'd have known when I finished cancer treatment and I was lost. So you can download that course now and you can start working towards making this your happiest and healthiest year ever. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, lovely, and welcome back to Confidence After Cancer. Today's episode is really close to my heart because it is something most of us don't expect when treatment ends, and that's the identity crisis. When the hospital visits stop and the world expects you to get back to normal, you can be left wondering, who even am I now? And that's how I felt. So in this episode, I want to share 3 identity shifts that help me stop feeling stuck in survivor mode and step into something that's much more powerful, thriving mode. So if you're ready to let go of guilt, embrace your worth, and write your next chapter on your terms, this one's for you. So let's dive in. The first point I want to make is thinking about going from being a patient to being the whole person, because you are so much more than your diagnosis or your medical history. If you've been through cancer treatment or any traumatic event, the person that you are inside can feel overwhelmed by all the things that are going on, the hospital visits, the diagnosis, the treatment, the changes in your relationship, maybe changes in your work situation, maybe changes in your finances as well. There's so much going on, and the person you truly are can feel forgotten. I just want to remind you that she's still in there, as I had to remind myself when I felt overwhelmed and felt like I didn't know who I was anymore. All those things happened to you, but it didn't change who you were. But thinking about going from that patient to the whole person, part of my process was letting go of constantly monitoring my body for danger. And it's understandable. You've been through a cancer diagnosis. I didn't feel particularly unwell until I found something was not right in my breast. But then after the treatment, I became hyper aware for a long time of every time I had a twinge or a pain in my back or my side. Is that something else? Is it something untoward? Letting go of that is part of the recovery process. It does get easier with time, but also I learned that by replacing the space in my head with other things, letting go of constantly monitoring, letting go of being on that high state of alert, learning to let it go and consciously thinking about other things in its place. Consciously taking time out to focus on other things, being aware that I've actually got a really good recovery plan now. It took me a while to work through that. I made some changes to my diet. I made some changes to my mindset, made some changes to the way I approach my life. But all those changes were things that I added in that took the focus away from me being a patient who is scared to moving towards the woman I want to be, who is a woman who is now in control of her future and is moving towards being a thriver. And so I've talked before about affirmations, and affirmations are a really good tool to use if you've got that chattering monkey mind, which we all have. And I'm still guilty of that sometimes. My thoughts run away with me. I'm thinking about things I don't really want to be focusing on. An affirmation that you keep repeating to yourself can help you, like a mantra, to focus and tell your subconscious mind, actually, there's something good going on here. A really useful affirmation for you might be, I am not broken, I am healing, and I am whole. I am not broken, I am healing, and I am whole. The next thing I really want to think about is, and I've talked about this before, about the fact that I was such a people pleaser all through my life, and so many women that I speak to feel the same, that for many years they've been a people pleaser, they've put other people first without even realising it. They've just got into the habit of putting other people first. But when you do that, when you put other people first and what they want first, you're putting yourself second. And that's no way to live if you want to really thrive and enjoy a full, beautiful life. So I have learned, and it took me a while to learn this, to go from being a people pleaser to being a peace protector, protecting my own peace of mind. I no longer do things I don't want to do and then feel resentful afterwards because that's not how I want to live. I've learned to say yes to myself without guilt, choosing whatever it is that you need, whether it's rest, choosing joy. We all need some more joy in our life, and choosing boundaries over burnout. And I'm going to talk more in a future episode of the podcast about boundaries because that took me a while to learn how to set boundaries with certain people, particularly in the family, that are very good at making you feel like you have to say yes to everything, but you don't. Sometimes you have to say yes to yourself first. So setting boundaries can be a really empowering thing to do. It takes practice and feeling a little bit uncomfortable. It's like when you learn any new, sometimes it feels a bit weird at first, but once you get comfortable with it, that is one of the most empowering things I have learned. A little habit that I could share with you is scheduling what they call white space. Scheduling time for you, even if it's just for your lunch. I know when I was working after the pandemic, I was working from home, but I was a temporary job at the time, and it was back to back Teams calls meetings. We were always on Teams calls. And some days there was no space in between. I took a step back and thought about this and explained to other people, this is not right. This is not how we should be working in a work environment. We were using an online calendar, an Outlook calendar, scheduling time in for breaks, for lunch, for a coffee break, comfort break, as they call it. But also in your own life, scheduling white space. Don't think you have to fill your diary with tasks and responsibilities all of the time, because just taking some time out for yourself, just to lie in the settee and watch a nice film or listen to music or read a good book, that is something I found in my life. If I don't schedule it in and make a conscious effort to make that time, sometimes it didn't happen for a long time. And then I wonder why I was so tired. Think about scheduling in some time for relaxation, for rejuvenating, for just doing things that you want to do. The other little habit I've got is not explaining every no. If you don't want to do something, if you're asked to do something and it's a no, don't think you have to give a lot of explanations. No can sometimes be a complete sentence. The third point I'd like to make is thinking about going from that identity of a survivor, of being a victim almost. I was like that for a while, and it's completely understandable. There's no judgment here, you know me. But thinking about that's not where you want to live. Okay, that was a period in your life that you've been through and moving through now to being a thriver. What does that woman look like? Spend some time thinking about that woman who I want to be, who's a thriver, living her best life, doing everything she wants to do with her life, and being really mindful of the fact we've got limited time on this planet. What do we want to be doing? Think about what you want to be doing in a year's time. Who do you want to be spending your time with? What clothes do you want to be wearing? Who do you want to be around? What work do you want to be doing? If you're truly living as a thriver, what does it look like for you? And if there's a huge gap from where you really would like your life to look like and where you are now, how do you get from there? You're not alone. You don't have to work this out on your own. There are people around you who can help you, maybe friends, family, a counsellor, a coach, whatever. It's thinking about identifying you as a thriver. What do you look like? What are you doing? What are those daily habits that make you a thriver? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you eating good nutrition? Are you getting some exercise? I want you to think about going from being a survivor who is grateful but cautious, grateful for surviving but really cautious and not sure of what life had in store, and was quite frightened of a lot of things. But I really wanted to be that thriver. I wanted to be that woman who is grounded, who is growing, who is confident. I got there, but it took me some time. But first of all, it's just thinking about that identity. What does she look like, that woman? For you, because being a thriver looks different to everybody. One of the things I could advise you is thinking about your purpose, whether it's your work, doing work that you actually care about, that lights you up, that you enjoy doing. Sometimes people get through volunteering, helping other people, really getting involved in a cause that you care about, whether it's politics, whether it's whatever it is, something local to you. Where I live, there's beautiful parks, and there's a group of people who have retired who volunteer to look after the park. And they've got a great camaraderie, and the park is beautiful, and everyone appreciates them. For those people that do the volunteering, they get so much from it. That is one avenue you might think about. Another avenue to find your purpose can be creativity. It might mean something different to everybody. Do you like art? Do you like making things work? Do you like crochet? Do you like music? What is it that you are creative with? Do you like cooking? What is it that creativity can bring into your life? The more you can make space for creativity and really embracing that side of yourself, that will help you to become a thriver. That will help you to become the grounded, beautiful woman that you want to be. And the other thing that you could think about with purpose is helping others. And again, it's similar to volunteering, thinking about a cause that you care about, but also it can be thinking about people around you, your friend, family, colleagues possibly need help. But sometimes we can find purpose in helping others. That's why I'm a coach, because I didn't want anybody to feel as desolate as I did after they finished their cancer treatment. That's why I trained to be a coach. I trained in nutrition. I learn from the people that I coach. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing. It really is. And it really lights me up. So helping others is a great way for you to turn into a thriver. And it helps you to remember how far you've come as well. Sometimes when you work with other people who are not as well off as you, it can remind you to be grateful for all the things that you've got that's good in your life. Take some time now to think about, what does thriving look like for you? A couple of questions I'd like you to reflect on. Think about, what identity did cancer strip away? Now, for me, for a while, I was angry and grieving for all the things that I'd lost from my cancer diagnosis. But I had to let that go to move forward. I had to go through that process. It was just like a bereavement, and part of me felt like it had died and was never coming back. So, what identity did cancer strip away? But which ones do I want to reclaim? Because, as I say, she's still in there, the person that you are. And you want to reclaim that now and be proud and make those parts of your life bigger and better and bolder. And think about the question, if I gave myself full permission to thrive, what would change? What would I stop doing? What would I start doing if I really wanted to thrive? If you sit with that question, if I gave myself full permission to thrive, what would change? I'd love you to think about that. I hope this episode has spoke to you, and I would love to hear about the identity shifts that you are making in your life. So get in touch with me, DM me on Instagram, leave a review on my podcast, or share this with a friend who's also on this. If you want more support with these shifts, please check out my one-to-one coaching or a program designed to help you go from surviving to absolutely thriving. So until next time, stay kind to yourself. You're doing better than you think you are. Stay safe, stay sane. Thanks for listening.